Christina meets her mother for lunch at Metro Court. While they wait for Molly, Alexis informs Christina that her strategy is working and reveals the arrangement she made with Ava, which excluded Rick, in exchange for one final payment. Christina refuses to accept it until she sees Rick's damaged automobile. Christina wishes she had kept Molly out of this scheme. She believes Cody genuinely likes and cares about Molly. Alexis inquires as to whether she regrets separating them. It appears that Rick and Ava's relationship is over. At the hospital, Liz offers Rick a copy of Willow's records and recommendations for her hearing in the autumn. She compliments him on his generosity in taking Willow's case pro gratis. Martin runs into Stella in the halls and tells her that he just finished physical therapy and feels terrific. Unfortunately, his therapist believes he requires additional sessions, but his insurance does not cover them. Stella says they will battle this, and Martin refers to her as an angel. Returning to the nurse's station, Ava interrupts Liz and Rick. She requests that Liz give Lucas, who is staying with her, the door opener to her garage. Liz quickly leaves and Ava invites Rick to join her at the Metro Court pool. He says he's too preoccupied with Willow's case. He is about to go in for a kiss when Liz exclaims, "Good news, Deanna will be a character witness for Willow." Later, Liz receives a text message from Jake, who is in Norway with Aiden and Lucky. She liked the photos he sends and wishes she had the time to paint them all. Rick flirts with her, proposing that she find a nice patron to do so someday. Time passes and Liz speaks with Stella about a patient's insurance issue. Stella enjoys it when she convinces a corporation to do the right thing and pay out. How will Anna prevent Emma's plans? Felicia meets Cody by the pool and invites him to Mac's forthcoming barbecue. However, when he hears Molly has also been invited, he declines since Molly is upset with him, for reasons he does not understand. Felicia will not take no for an answer, so Cody accepts the invitation. Nearby, Gio and Emma are discussing their intentions to steal into Dalton's lab when Anna arrives with Outback, who is completely fed up. She could hear Outback barking from the lobby and reminded them that their building did not accept dogs. She asks that one of them mind the dog for the day, but they say they can't because they're attending Dalton's lecture. Anna replies she'll take care of him for now and walks away. Gio cries, "Watch out! They're on patrol." Anna gives him a look. Anna then speaks with Felicia, fearing her granddaughter may make a move on Dalton tonight. Anna walks to an alcove to contact the fire department, wondering when the fire marshal last visited PCU's lecture hall. Trina appears and rushes into Ava. The young woman inquires as to whether Rick is meeting her, but Ava responds that he is not, and she is correct. She deserves far better than Rick. Cody comes, having hurriedly changed clothes, and Trina flees when she notices the looks between them. Ava is startled to see Cody, since she had planned to invite him to the pool when she texted him earlier, but Rick did not want to accompany her. Cody calls Rick an idiot for passing on a day with her. Trina hangs out with Emma and relays Joss's text message advising her not to take the job with Dalton. She knows Emma dislikes her, but she should trust Joss on this one. Later, Emma phones the university to find out when she may acquire Dalton's lecture hall keys, only to learn that it has been cancelled. Brooklyn opens up to Uncle Sonny at the Q's. Sonny pays BLQ a visit, and she acknowledges she made a mistake. She tells him she is the reason Rocco found out about Britt, and she reveals how she planned to hurt Lulu but was unable to carry it out. She insists she did not leave the file out for Rocco to find. Sonny trusts her, notes that Rocco is okay, and believes that the youngster should have informed his parents long ago, but they were preoccupied with other issues. Their conversation shifts to deception, and Brooklyn has some excellent news for him. What exactly is Jordan doing with Sidwell? Jordan admits to her buddy at Laura's office that even after all these weeks, she still has no chance against Sidwell. Laura said the guy is as nasty as they come and wonders if anyone else is involved. Jordan believes he is running the illicit aspect of his business through Marco. Jordan has no proof of this, but she will not stop until she finds it. Laura wonders how long it will take Sidwell to draw her into the fold. Jordan believes he won't unless she can establish her trustworthiness. Laura informs her that she doesn't have a badge and can only do so much to protect her as mayor. Anna has been busted. Later, Anna and Outback meet with Laura to provide an update on Sidwell. The PCPD suspects he utilized Selena Wu's people to frame her for the Charlie's fire. Without Marco coming forward, there is no kidnapping to prosecute. Suddenly, an outraged woman named Mabel storms in to report a crime to the mayor, only to discover she is meeting with the offender. Mabel is the president of the HOA for the building where she and Anna live, and Anna is degrading property values with her pet, which is against the regulations. Anna swears this is not her dog, but the woman has audio recordings to prove she is lying. What does Drew want from Sidwell? Drew encounters Sidwell at an outside cafe. Sidwell has another meeting, so he tells the congressman to hurry. Drew needs whatever Sidwell has on Sunny in order to assist his beloved Willow in regaining custody of her children. If Sidwell refuses to give him the dirt, he will make his life tough. Sidwell wonders whether he is threatening him. Lucy interrupts and apologizes to Drew regarding the wedding. Drew leaves them to enjoy their lunch, but not before reminding Sidwell of what he asked of him. Lucy and Sidwell sit down, and Lucy is annoyed to hear Jordan has joined them. Lucy, clearly unaware that he is simply not interested in her, had hoped for a more intimate lunch and expresses her want for more from Sidwell. Jordan soon joins them and informs Sidwell that the mayor is delighted with his contribution to the park beautification initiative. Sidwell claims that Lucy is attending this conference to provide an update on deception. Sidwell's assurance of Jordan's trustworthiness prompts Lucy to discuss drama in the other court. Molly returns to the Metro Court restaurant and joins her sister and mother. Alexis argues that, as Scout's only connection to her mother, they should spend more time with her. They notice Drew is here, and Alexis prepares to suck up to him. Christina and Molly decide to go to the pool, with Christina stepping out first to get some chairs. Drew talks with Martin in an attempt to re-engage the lawyer in assisting Willow with her upcoming custody hearing. Nina had hired Rick to accomplish that, according to what Martin had heard. Martin explains that Michael currently seems like a saint, and that nothing he can do will help Willow's cause, given her frequent meltdowns. Alexis interrupts, which excites Martin, who clearly wishes to be somewhere else. Could you blame him? Drew wonders what he can do for Alexis. She says that it's something he can do for Scout. Martin meantime meets Rick at the bar. Rick wishes to keep Martin as his lawyer. Martin reveals that his fees have lately increased. Cody and Ava rest in the pool. Ava complains about how hot it is and rubs ice from her drink all over her body, shamelessly moaning. She suggests he try it, and then proceeds to freeze Cody's chest as Christina walks in and notices them. Brooke Lynn informs Sunny in the show's final moments at the Quartermaines that Deception will not report the financial issue to the police. Sunny claims he would never willfully jeopardize her company, which Brooke Lynn understands. They embrace. Lucy informs Sidwell and Jordan about the Sunny problem, and that the ladies have all decided not to report it to the police. When Sidwell asks how the vote went, Lucy reveals Maxie was the odd woman out. She acknowledges that everyone hopes the stepdaughter of Port Charles's chief of detectives will be a team player. Sidwell seems apprehensive. Emma fumes to Gio in the pool, saying she's confident her grandma foiled her plans for Dalton and will find another way to get rid of him. Mabel rushes out of Laura's office after demanding that Laura take action over Anna and her puppy. Anna apologizes to Laura and agrees to keep the dog under control. Laura says her hands are tied, and she knows Mabel will not back down. Sadly, Anna will have to find a new home for the puppy. Stella informs Liz at the hospital that Rick's office has contacted her, and that she would serve as Willow's character witness. She says the man goes above and beyond for Willow. Liz claims Rick can be surprised when he wants to be, which is why she has never been able to entirely ignore him. Stella believes this is less about Willow and more about Rick's willingness to do anything for Liz. Back at the Metro Court, Martin accepts Rick as a client. Rick reveals that he and Ava are in a partnership, and he needs to go. It has to be legal and airtight, and Ava won't know until the very last minute. At the pool, Cody compliments Ava on her beauty, and they get close. He reminds her that the last time they came so near she slapped him. She encourages him to take a chance and they kiss. Christina returns to the restaurant and tells her sister that there are too many obnoxious teenagers at the pool, so they should go to the lake instead. Alexis expresses her desire to take Scout to the ballet in the first week of September, but Drew informs her that they have plans to see schools in DC that weekend before moving there. According to General Hospital teasers, Willow Tate may kidnap Drew Kane and go to drastic measures in order to blackmail Daisy Gilmore. Drew looked over the information and concluded that Willow was the one who targeted Daisy. Willow is to blame for Sasha Gilmore Corbin's departure from Port Charles with Michael Corinthos' newborn girl. Thus Drew has a lot of leverage. Drew could use this information to manipulate Willow and coerce her into a reunion. We wouldn't be surprised if Drew backed Willow into a corner, given his track record. Of all, Willow's conduct has been out of control recently, so it's impossible to tell how far she'll go to silence Drew in that situation. It's easy to envision Willow taking Drew off guard and possibly knocking him unconscious. Willow might then tie Drew up and decide to stow him somewhere. Willow couldn't lift Drew's comatose body on her alone, but she could enlist the help of someone like Curtis Ashford. If Curtis discovers that Drew is planning a long-term retribution strategy, he will have a reason to keep Drew silent as well. Nina Reeves could also become an accomplice because she wants to seek Willow's forgiveness while keeping the stalker's identity hidden. This could be Nina's chance to show that she'll do whatever it takes to make up with Willow, even if it involves committing crimes alongside her. Whatever the case, Willow's emotions fluctuate on a daily basis. Despite Willow's determination to rectify her mess of a life and finally see her children, she continues to make things worse for herself. That might happen again if Drew threatens to identify Willow as Daisy's stalker, prompting her to create a hostage crisis. Willow may face a new difficulty if she knocks Drew unconscious and takes him captive, so keep an eye out for any major plot twists. Willow never believed she'd be in a position to consider doing something so radical, let alone carry it out. Nonetheless, there she was, standing in the dim light of a small, windowless chamber in the Coeur boathouse, her arms crossed tightly across her chest, shivering not from fear but from the weight of what she had accomplished. Drew Kane was chained to a chair in front of her, cognizant but dazed, and well aware that the woman in front of him, gentle, faithful Willow, had taken him captive. It began with the blackmail. A letter was placed under her door. Then another one is buried inside a children's book on Wiley's shelf. At first, she assumed it was a joke, or the result of someone confused her with someone else. But as she read, it became evident that someone was aware of the incident at Ferncliff. Someone was aware she had visited Daisy. Even more alarming, someone knew what Daisy had whispered to her in the dead of night, something she hadn't even told Michael. Willow had previously helped Daisy conceal something dark and frightening. It wasn't a crime, but the moral line had been blurred, and if the wrong person obtained that information, her entire existence could unravel. The kids, Michael, her job in the hospital, it might all disappear. Willow had attempted to handle it quietly. She burned the first note. I ignored the second. However, the third arrived with a photo of her outside Ferncliff. And the fourth? That came with a threat. Tell Drew everything or the world will find out. Initially, she assumed this was about Nina. Nina has been spinning since losing access to her grandchildren, and the truth about her SSE betrayal was revealed. Perhaps this was another of her attempts to retaliate against Willow, Michael, or Drew. But as the days passed and the letters became more erratic and personal, Willow's instinct told her something else. This was not about vengeance. It was all about control. Someone wanted to terrify her. Someone wanted her to comply. So she visited Drew. She told him she feared Daisy was being harassed, and that she wanted his help looking into it. Drew had always been protective, almost paternal, and he thrilled at the chance to play hero again. They began excavating. But Drew was not subtle. He placed calls. He asked queries. And one day, he returned to Willow with a familiar look in his eye, when he realized Nina had provided the SSE tip. I need you to be honest with me, he had stated. Willow felt her heart halt. She tried to deflect and smile, but Drew didn't buy it. He stated that Daisy's past was more complex. More about her past. That perhaps, just maybe, the person conducting the blackmailing was closer than she realized. When Willow refused to provide specifics, he became skeptical. Not angry. Not cruel. However, they remained persistent. Drew Kane, who was relentless, was also dangerous. It all went out of control the day Drew arrived with a manila folder in his hand. I found something, he explained. They were alone in the boathouse. Willow had asked him to meet her there so they could chat privately. She told him it was about Daisy. And it was, but not in the way he expected. Drew opened the folder and took out the images. Of Daisy, of Ferncliff, and one of Willow talking to someone who is blurred but clearly not a nurse or doctor. "Do you know who this is?" he asked. "Because I do." Willow's thoughts raced. He had no way of knowing that the man in the photo was the same person Daisy said had stalked her for months, until she struck an agreement with him. Willow had helped negotiate the agreement in exchange for Daisy's silence. Drew's eyes narrowed. "You lied to me." She couldn't recall reaching for the tranquilizer in her coat pocket. She couldn't remember why she'd brought it, only that Daisy had given it to her months before, just in case. Drew's body slumped, the syringe still in her quivering palm. Hours later he was awake, confused, and furious. "Did you drug me?" he hissed, straining on the restraints. "What the hell, Willow?" "I had no option," she said slowly, her voice cracking. "You were about to expose everything. You don't understand what's going on. Someone is attempting to wreck my life." Drew fought again, his eyes wide with amazement. "So you tie me up? Hold me hostage? Do you believe that will fix it?" Willow did not have any answers, only desperation. Drew had disappeared, so the blackmail had ceased. That informed her one thing. Drew was part of the leverage. Whoever was pulling the strings wanted her to keep him silent. She had no idea if it was the same stalker who had haunted Daisy, or someone else entirely. But it was working. She had no doubts anymore. This went beyond Daisy. It was about something bigger. Someone intended to control not only her, but everyone involved in that night at Ferncliff. "Tell me who's behind this," Drew asked. "I don't know," she replied. "But they want something. They want you to be silent. And they want to scare me. Then let me help," he pleaded. Willow knelt alongside him, her eyes full of grief. "That's what I figured you were doing. But when you started connecting dots, I couldn't afford it. If this gets out, my family will be devastated." He sighed, the fury on his face easing slightly. "You should have come clean." "I tried," she said softly. "But every time I come close, another threat appears. If you go to the police, they will go after Wiley. They'll come after Michael." The quiet between them became as heavy as fog. Drew's breathing slowed. "You believe me enough to tie me up, but not enough to tell me the truth?" She swallowed hard. "I don't know who I can trust anymore." Meanwhile, Michael in Port Charles was becoming concerned. Willow hadn't arrived home. Her phone went directly to voicemail. Drew had assured him he'd meet Willow that morning, but he wasn't responding either. Carly spotted Michael pacing and volunteered to make a few calls. But even she seemed uneasy. Drew's previous unexpected disappearance resulted in bruises and secrets. And Carly recognized that Drew's newfound involvement in darkness, particularly his renewed preoccupation with unearthing secrets, could easily attract people like Willow. Willow returned to the boathouse and glanced at her hands. She hadn't even freed Drew to feed him. Instead, she offered him water and granola bars. But guilt was crushing her. Every time she glanced at his face, she saw not only her treachery, but also the person she once was. Someone who believed in healing and forgiveness, not control or secrets. "You know this is going to end badly," Drew replied quietly. "You are not a criminal, Willow, but you're walking right into a prison." "Then tell me what to do," she pleaded. "Tell me how to fix this without losing everything." Drew examined her attentively and measuredly. "Untie me. Allow me to help you. We report to the police. We get a protective order if necessary. But this? You are going to lose Michael. You are going to lose your children. And for what? Is there a secret that you think characterizes you?" She clenched her fists. "You don't know what I did." "I don't need to," he replied, "because I recognize who you are today. And that individual is afraid." Willow went to her knees, her breath hitching. "I helped Daisy hide what she did to her stalker. She tempted him. She wounded him. She said it was self-defense. I did not question it. I helped clean up. I did not go to the police. I was so terrified." She was in a lot of discomfort. Drew's eyes fluttered. "Has he died?" Willow nodded slowly. "I do not know. Maybe. We never saw him again. She claimed she took care of it. And I went away. Now everything was out in the open. The secret that had plagued her. The secret that someone had discovered. The one being used against her right now. Drew was quiet for a long time. "We can deal with this," he finally said. "We tell the truth." "Maybe it's not too late," Willow said, tears streaming down her cheeks. "It's already too late." There was a sound of footsteps outside. Heavy and deliberate. A knock at the boathouse door. Willow froze. Drew sat up straighter, hoping to catch a peek of who was outside. She walked carefully to the door, her heart thumping in her chest. The voice on the other end was low, familiar, and unsettling. "I understand what you did, Willow. You should have picked up the phone. It wasn't Daisy. And it was not Nina. It was someone far worse.